Hello, everybody joining us for this remarkable speech, a case as to why we should abolish the reign of chiefs and Fons in Cameroon as a strategy for economic growth and prosperity. That is the purpose of this conversation. We are going to be observing in this conversation how far we have come as a people and how to build a future that lasts. If you have been part of Nation Builders or CSDP, my previous video analyzed the pistol structure of growth and development. Pistol analysis, the political factors affecting the growth of a nation, the institutional factors affecting the growth of a nation, the social factors affecting the growth of the nation, the technological factors that affects the growth of the nation, the economic and legal factors that affects the growth of a nation. Today, I would like for us to look at what other nations have done. Most importantly, listen to Donald Trump, the newly elected president of the United States of America, share his perspective on this subject. Our strategy for this transformation is basic. We look at what has worked, we model it, and experience transformation. I want to start by addressing this Western concept that we have in our community. Whenever you bring something new, they say it comes from the West, so you should not accept it. So I thought I'd start there. There's a lot of videos here that we will go through. There is a clear distinction between a critic and an analyst. And there is a difference between a critic, an analyst, and someone who provides solution after analyzing facts. That is the difference, because some people watch me online and they think I'm here to criticize people. No, I'm here to analyze what are the obstacles that are facing us and why we can't make progress. And then I propose solutions to those obstacles so that we can be able to make progress. Are you tracking? Samuel Eto'o, that was recently crowned Tumfo. Some said they didn't crown him Fon of Fons, but we have seen our president crown Fon of Fons. And I want to address that in this video. Samuel Eto'o is regarded, respected throughout the nation today for one reason: because of soccer. We all agree. Soccer is not invented in Cameroon. Soccer is a European concept. He went over to Europe, became the best at a sport, initiated by Europeans, and became the best, and then we celebrate him in Cameroon. So when the Chiefs are crowning him, celebrating him, it's happening all across the nation right now. They are not respecting him. They are not giving him that title because of an achievement that he got because of our culture and our customs. Let us be frank with ourselves. This is the generation that we will say we make the adjustments that are necessary. We stand up for what is right. We take out every obstacle on our way and make lasting progress. Are you understanding? So everything that I'm going to present to you today, I'll provide for you a solution. And if you do not understand the solution that I have provided, ask questions. Engage with me with respective conversations or dialogue or questions so that we can be able to make progress. So we will talk about this. We will also look at this culture of pidgin English in our culture. and how it is affecting us from making progress. Because I looked out and I realized that most of the influencers that people go to speak pidgin. They speak pidgin English. And I want to let you know, speaking pidgin English doesn't make you smart. Because pidgin English, if you think it's maybe English is a Western concept or a Western construct, so you will not speak English because it comes from the West, I want to remind you that pidgin English is a broken version of English. So open your eyes, open your mind if you really want change for your lives and that of your children. So we will address this issue as well. The worst of it, those who have studied, traveled abroad, turn back to their people and speak in broken English. People go to universities, graduate with degrees, and they're speaking with broken English. How can you take advantage of economic opportunities in your country and outside of your country if you can't be fluent in English, which is a commercial language? In our culture, we have looked at language as part of our culture. We don't see language as a tool for economic opportunities. This is why we are broke. This is why we are struggling. Language is designed primarily for communication. If I make shoes in Cameroon and all I speak is broken English or broken English, the pidgin that we speak, this version of pidgin that we speak, because this version of pidgin is not even accepted or understood across Africa. So just Anglophones understand this broken English that we speak. So if you make shoes in Cameroon and you want to sell that shoes, or you make bread and you want to sell that bread, and all you can speak is pidgin English, you are only limited to sell that bread to those who understand that pidgin English. You're only limited to sell that bread to those, or that shoes to those who understand that broken English. People are scared to go to the embassy to answer questions. They prefer to go through Mexico because they will not be able to present themselves before the consulate and answer questions. They will not be able to do that. They will not be able to stand before an immigration officer and answer questions. That is why they go through Mexico to go abroad or travel abroad. We are going to address those issues today. Because the way our society is going, if we continue this way, we will struggle. How come people went to university, studied abroad, and we turn back and we are doing this to our people? This is wrong. This is wrong. Your conscience should judge you. This is wrong. Look at our brothers and sisters in Asia. They go there to teach those people English. Because those people over there understand today that English is an economic tool. It can help them communicate. And as they communicate better, they will sell their products to other markets. English and French are one of the two national languages that are spoken worldwide. So you being fluent in this language will help you to take advantage of economic opportunities everywhere around the world. Some naive people will show up and tell you it is your culture. They say you should maintain your tribes, maintain your tribal language. Look at the presidential candidates that are emerging in our nation. Listen to how they speak. They really want change, and some of them might have good ideas. But because of their tribal language and pidgin English, they can't articulate proficiently in English. And so it limits them. And you would discard or disregard what they are saying because of how they speak. This is where we are going, guys. This is where we are going. I look at the ratio of educated people in our country. It's quite fascinating to see how many people went to school. But look at what we are doing with our lives. So we will analyze this structure today. So I want to start by having you listen and watch a video from Donald Trump, the newly elected president of the United States of America. hear what he has to say on this subject. And then I will further analyze the video and bring up subsequent videos to address this issue as to why tribalism, tribes, and Fons have come to an end in Cameroon, and why, because I'll provide reasons. You should not be attached to anything on earth if it's not serving your best interest. And if there is substantial evidence, drop it, no matter what you've known your entire life. Culture is a way of living in a society. When we are in this dispensation, we should be looking for new cultures, new ways that we can be able to enhance the quality of lives of every Cameroonian. It is a shame that your parents send you to school. Just about 3.8% of Cameroonians are above the age of 65. And people are asking me the question, what will happen to those old people? I will answer that to you. The old people that cannot speak English, that cannot speak French. I will give you a response to that. But let's dive into this video.
You have criticized Governor Bush for speaking Spanish on the campaign trail. You said, quote, he should really set an example by speaking English in the United States. What's wrong with speaking Spanish?
Well, I think it's wonderful and all, but I do mean it to a large extent. We have a country where to assimilate, you have to speak English. And I think that where he was and the way it came out didn't sound right to me. We have to have assimilation. To have a country, we have to have assimilation. I'm not the first one to say this, Senate. We've had many people over the years, for many years, saying the same thing. This is a country where we speak English.
We have to have assimilation to have a country. That is, everyone speaks a language that most people understand. It makes that society function. People can be able to understand each other, sell their products and services. Those from Northwest or Southwest, if they understand French, they can travel to Adamawa after they graduate from teacher training college and go over there and get a job in physics, in geography, and teach. They are limited in the Anglophone zone because we don't even want to integrate into the nation. Do you see how limiting we are with our strategies and our approach? And they tell you that majority wins the vote. And so if majority of the people are against the government, majority are right. No. Informed majority, not majority wins the vote. Informed. So the informed majority are just acting based on the information that they have been fed. After we give this new information to that same majority, we will get different outcomes. So assimilation, you've been taught, is a bad idea. No, it is integrating in a system for your own good. For your own good. People with evil intentions will tell you assimilation is a terrible word. Listen to Donald J. Trump. You see, America is the successful nation on earth, or one of the most prosperous nations on earth. You think it's by chance? It's because the people that came here had to integrate, had to assimilate, had to learn the language in order to find a life for themselves in here.
Not Spanish.
Well, Andrew Tate, this is very interesting on the mix of events. He is announcing.
This is another video from Andrew Tate. You guys think when you pack up your traditional artifacts in a bag and travel abroad, those in those nations that you travel to are happy because you showed up with your tradition. They just watch you and see how people are resistant to change. But if it becomes a nuisance in their community, they will speak up. Listen to this video.
He's running for Prime Minister of UK, okay, and the party is called BRUV, B-R-U-V, okay. In the majority Filipino areas of UK, must look and feel like British. In majority Indian areas of UK, it must and look, feel like British. In majority Jewish, it must. In majority African, show more. Immigrate, expect to adapt to British culture, no matter how small the norm. We like quiet Sunday mornings. Problem? Leave. You respect British culture, standards of hygiene and social norms. You operate within our parameters. Multiple complaints of the contrary, visa revoked. You do not belong your own culture. You do not bring your own culture. Your culture already has a home.
Your culture already has a home. The question is, what kind of culture does your home has that you want to leave your own home to another person's country? And then you want to bring over what you have in your own country that has not been serving you well, that you decide to move to another person's country, but you will not adopt what is over there. You want to bring what you have over here. You see what I'm saying? This is the insanity of this whole idea. So what is Andrew Tate saying? They, the people of Britain, will have to limit individuals who come in here with their cultures and cause disorder in their society. Choose your culture wisely. Is it serving you? If it's not serving you, it is the problem why you are poor. It is the problem why you are broke. It is the reason, and it is the reason why you struggle. Are you understanding? Now, I would like us to dive into another video so that you can understand why we are putting an end to this monarchical rule in our nation.
Voilà, on va l'habiller aux couleurs des notabilités.
So Samuel Eto'o has been given another title. This time we see it is coming from the north. I would like for us to now dive into a video where we are going to understand what actually happened to us, especially those in the Northwest that don't understand evolution, growth, and development, and why this is the foundation to development in our country. And we should not run away from this responsibility in this generation.
We're fighting people. I learned it from my parents. I'm not a fighter myself. I am a modern ruler. That's why we do administration, we do politics, we work to earn a living, and there's most of these things in order to change our tradition.
We are adapting to this new form of government in order to change our traditions. This is coming from Fons and Chiefs III. He is the one that has been talked about, right, for crowning President Pobia Fons or breaking the traditions of the Northwest region. And I want us to understand where he is coming from, because most Fons in the Northwest don't understand the mindset that this Fons harbor. He was a transitional leader. I don't see him as a Fons. I see him as a transitional leader, a very instrumental one for the development of Northwest. And let me break it down for you, because if you don't understand where he is coming from, you are going to label him, misquote him, and misinterpret his intentions because of your antagonistic view that you have towards the government. Fons and Chiefs III grew up in a family where his father had many wives and many children. He saw the challenges that they faced because of that large family. Going to school was something that his father was not really aligning with. Lucky enough, he went to school, studied in Nigeria, came back and had a job in that country. He didn't come back and just hang around like a prince hoping that someone hands him something. He was a worker, a government worker, earning a salary in this country. His father passed away. He came home to pay tribute. He was arrested and crowned a Fons when he visited. He resisted that position for 2 years. He never knew his father that he would be the next of kin. So after resisting for 2 years, his boss that he was working for at the time told him, you can take everything that you've learned here, your leadership skills, agriculture that you studied in Nigeria, go back and help your people, help your village. That was when he changed his mind and returned and decided to help his people. He was at the Fumban conference. He was there and saw how unprofessional Foncha was. He left there and did not create a scene, did not go around complaining. He took responsibility to be the change that he wants to see. And he realized at the Fumban conference that power has changed hands, that this country is now ruled by democracy, not monarchy. So he got involved in politics so that he can have control over his tribe. He understood, leaving the Fumban conference, that this position of Fon is ceremonial. And that is how he got into politics, walked his way, worked hard. Because all they want to show you is tradition, him breaking tradition and all of that. He worked hard. Mancon is what it is today because of his political stance, not his tribal stance. Not because he was a Fon only, but because of his political ideologies, because he got involved in politics. Took loan and started the first market in Mancon. Opened up his village for neighboring villages and say, no matter where you are from, you can come in here. You can come and trade. This place can be home. He taught us to be friendly towards strangers. Don't be hostile towards strangers. If they want to buy a land, sell to them and sell fair. That is what he taught us. They don't teach you this online. And I thought I'd take this time because it is easy to just throw somebody under the box of CPDM and then you cast them away. Without him, most of us that have come and studied in Bamenda wouldn't have had that opportunity. Because as he opened the market for trade, now there was opportunities for other people to come in, start schools and other things. And so that is how Bamenda expanded. It is easy to forget the contributions of a chief that was leading that village, that was not hostile towards strangers, and open up his doors for strangers to come in. Not only that, he decided to merge the Anglophone zone with the Francophone zone through his political activities. That is why he went in there and became the vice president of the CPDM party. But because of what you have been taught about CPDM and the government, all you will see, or see even in me, is someone that is working for the government. This is how they have conditioned you. Are you understanding? This is how they have conditioned you. You can't see the big picture. This Fon was ahead of his time. He was supposed to be born 100 or 200 years into the future. What he saw and took action to change in his time. Most people will go through this particular dispensation without understanding that. This is what Fon Angwafo did for Anglophones, for Northwesterners. So when you see him shaking hands with President Paul Biya and you feel threatened because of your tradition, I want to let you know, he understood, leaving the Fumban conference, seeing what Foncha did, he knew that this position is merely ceremonial. I will use the last power that I have to build relationships for the betterment of my people and for the entire Northwest. That is why he made that decision. He never wanted to be that chief. He was not hungry of that position. I would like you to listen to this video and listen some more.
And so we can talk of the politics of these days, not those days. It was war. But today, it's a modern world. It's a changed world. So I am a modern Fon.
Today is a modern war. It is a changed war. Now you see why when the war broke out, most of the chiefs ran away for their safety, like any other citizen. In those days, the chiefs will be there to fight and protect you. Most of them understand this principle. And some of them are acting because of the wind of change. And there are two ways to look at this. Two ways. It's either these Fons understand because most of them have traveled, so they are educated. And they know that there's really no reason why we should have this monarchical role anymore. And the people are so tribally inclined that they will not let these chiefs go because they want something to fall back on. Because most of the times we always want to look at the leader. We know we got to look at the people. Because even God never blamed himself, he blamed us, the people. We have been looking at blaming the leaders all the time. No, we have to look at our own selves. And stop blaming the leaders all the time. Look at yourself. That is why they are using the last power that they have to build relationships for your own good. And you call them greedy. They are doing it for you. Because you rally around them because of that. So they want to use it for your own interest. And yet you level them because you don't see. That is why either you study what a leader has studied or you just quietly follow the leader. Most of the times, following a leader will serve you in the long run than trying to think that you know when you don't see the vision. Just like where I see Cameroon going right now, most people want to figure out everything before they get engaged. There are many things you will not understand, but you have to follow if you want a better future for yourself and your children. Both the young and the old in this nation. Both Anglophones and Francophones in this nation. Again, I want to be clear. The government is not our enemy. The Ambazonians are not our enemies. You can only change your friends and not your enemies. So everyone is our friend on this journey. If there is any obstacle, we are addressing those obstacles, not the individual. Let it be very clear. And we address those obstacles, we provide solution. Because anyone can criticize. It is easy to criticize. Anyone can condemn. It is easy to condemn. But when you condemn, provide solution. What is your solution? Let's look at your solution. Is it fact-driven? Is there a prospect that this solution will take us into the future?
A change fund.
What really happened during the Fumban conference?
When you are living your life on regrets, you will never live well.
You hear that? That is coming from a wise man. When you're living your life on regrets, you will never live well. You see what is happening in our country is based on regrets. Keep listening.
If our children think we didn't do well, they may be right. What we have done since then to bring you up to be thinking this way is an achievement. If the population is better educated and better experienced, and they see certain things that they don't like, and they blame it on their leaders of 50 years ago, they are not serious. Because in the next 50 years, they will blame you for what you are doing now.
Did you hear that? Is that not wisdom? Is that not wisdom? The Ambazonian leaders thought that they knew better, and so they put the entire nation in jeopardy. What is happening today? The people are blaming them now. It's not even up to the 50 years that he talked about. He said, as you criticize those of the past, be rest assured that whatever you're doing now, you will be blamed for 50 years down the line. It is not even up to 20. This man was ahead of his time. He was far ahead of his time. He studied in Nigeria, understood that the world was changing, came back and understood that politics is what rules this nation and no more tradition. Some people, even after traveling abroad, studying in all the prestigious universities, still sit down and don't see this, don't hear this, don't understand this. And they are leading you, and they have put the knowledge in your head and made you the majority, and you say majority win the vote based on what those people taught you. You are a majority on error. Majority don't win the vote. Informed majority win the vote. Keep listening. This is how I reason, guys. I don't just go with dogma. I don't go with emotions and sentiments and how people feel. No, I take my time and I listen. Well, I ask good questions. Well, and then I analyze. Well, and then I'm able to come up with a hypothesis based on facts. Some people hear, but they don't listen. And some people listen, but they don't understand. And some people understand, but there is no wisdom in what they've understood because they will not apply it. But they can say it and you hear them. You think they are smart, but they don't have wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. There is a difference. Keep listening.
Take the bull by the horn. So we did our best.
Nangwafo III of Mankan, one of the most educated traditional rulers at the dawn of independence, he succeeded into parliament first as an independent and subsequently as a member of the Cameroon National Union. He has served as first national vice president of Paul Biya's Cameroon's People Democratic Movement since 1990. And this unique, analytical and insightful reflection years into his reign, Nangwafo III discusses growing up in colonial times, his surprise appointment as king, the 1961 Cameroon plebiscite, and his initiation into politics. Being king and politician, coping with the hostility of the modern power elite towards his active involvement in politics, churches, schools, and politics, life as an agriculturist, and investments in turning the kingdom of Mankan. Ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Majesty Nangwafo III feels his life encapsulates this negotiation and reconciliation of continuity and change. The reason why we're celebrating him on monuments today because he is a monument of the history of Cameroon and an example to emulate across the continent and the globe. Have there been any moments in the life of His Royal Majesty when he would have preferred not to be the fawn of the people of Mankan?
I never dreamt of it. I didn't like it. When I began going to school.
He never dreamt of it. He never liked it. There are some people that are too hungry for power. Just like everyone looks at what we were doing here and they thought it was a political party. No, you can love to transform your country without being a politician. You can develop and build your country. This is what he taught us. Hard work. Enjoy community work. This is what Nangwafo taught us. Not to sit back and hope that somebody comes and do for you what you can do or should do for yourself. This is what he taught us. And if there's anyone that is misguided, it is important that we bring up this information so that we readjust ourselves. Keep listening.
I didn't like the way we lived. I think the prince he never knew that to live a good life, you have to earn a living. We depended mostly on the assistance of the population to get food, to get even mimbo drinks, and it was very regular to supply food to the palace, tap the mimbo to the palace, did the hunting, There was dried meat all the way and on. And we did not see life as something a prince should. Create what he wants. He must have what is given, and he will live an easy life. And to go to school, it was not very good for a prince to go to school because nobody was allowed to touch the prince. The teachers flock, and so on. You can't flog a prince. More or less arrested when I came home to sympathize with my family of his passing away, only to be arrested, more or less, and made his successor. And in fact, I insisted it for 2 years. I was a civil servant. I was told that I cannot be a king with a territory and a people, and yet be on the Queen of England. We can't share two kings in the same empire.
Are you understanding that? And this is what they have made us to understand, that it is okay to have monarchy and democracy in the same country, mixing our heads. All these tribes around, we can't find alignment. I want to let you know, he understood those principles. Listen and read in between the lines. If he stood up and told the people that this has to come to an end, they would have probably crucified him. But he had to be strategic with it. But the thing about this strategy is that when you tell the people that it is monarchy and democracy, and then you make advancements towards democracy, they become threatened. And that is why when they saw him shaking hands with the first lady, the people said, "You are betraying our tradition." When they saw him with President Paul Biya, they said, "You're betraying our tradition." But really, what he was doing is letting all of you guys know that this institution doesn't have any power anymore. We have to merge with the larger community. We have to integrate with the nation if we want to find progress. And I repeat again for a reason. Most of the progress and development that we see in Northwest today, most of you that have been educated in Northwest today, is because this man opened up Mancon for trade. Opened up his village and taught us not to be hostile towards strangers. There are some people that cannot buy lands in your village. There are some particular lands in your village you cannot sell to people. There are some of you that if a stranger comes into your village, you will tax them 2 times what you will sell to average indigene of that tribe. This is the root cause of this problem and tribalism that we are dealing with. Northwest alone has approximately 100 tribes, indigenous languages. Northwest contributes to about 40% of the indigenous languages, 250 spoken in Cameroon. That is why we can never align and do something great with our lives. This is time for us to drop down. I repeat, just look at this institution and say away with this institution and integrate with the rest of the nation. This is the time to do that. And this video, again, if you're joining, is a case as to why we should abolish this. If not, you will always keep monitoring these chiefs, saying they are corrupt, whereas they are evolving. They are growing. They are not corrupt people. You are the one forcing them in that position. They understand that times have changed. That is why the crisis broke out. They ran for their safety. In those days, our chiefs are going to be there in front fighting. People like Fonangwafo understood the change of wind, the wind of change. He understood that times have changed, and he integrated. Many others didn't. That is why this chief did what he did with Eto'o, and you are threatened. They are not a custodian of any tradition because there is no power in that anymore. And so you ask yourself the question, why are you broke? What is holding you back? Because you're stuck in this idea that can't work and doesn't work. These things will only hold you down and hold your children's future down.
to resign or go back to my work. So it was very difficult for me to miss the packets I earn every morning, every night, every day. The services I had, I was in charge of a womb division. So among ourselves, there were we will have misunderstanding. But it is not that misunderstanding we blow. Take for instance, Foncha. That was a mediator. That was the head of government. You go to a conference when this government prepares a paper, this government prepares a paper. You put the two papers. They may have the same items. You discuss them. Select one through the other. We made an effort to make on here. The cultural hall, which is now library. We met. We took some resolutions. Foncha was our leader, our head of government. He was to present that we argue in Fumba. He did not present that paper. He was not talking with that paper. That's just where we quarreled. So Ahiju was reading his own, and with this, we are examining Ahiju's own. Where is our own? Joa was very bitter about it, but that is our leader. What we resolved here, we ourselves did not get back the copies. We think we will have a prepared already. All our views were given to the leader. Had what we decided here been secreted to members attending the conference, we can begin to talk. If I say, Foncha, as Jah did, Jah spoke there. I was sitting here. Foncha said, if you like, you go back, you tell the people I've not done what we decided to do. So was that the thing to go back there and come back with quarrel? Follow your leader.
Follow your leader. Anglophones, have you heard it now? This man was in there, part of that Fumban conference. Your leader, Foncha, who was supposed to represent you, came in unprepared. That was the outcome. He didn't leave that conference bitter, taking revenge, manipulating the public. He went to work and said, this is what my leader has come up with. I will follow him and I will play my own path. That is exactly what he did. And look for every means to integrate, to make sure that we are not left behind. They never tell you this. They never tell you this. They will cook up all sorts of stories about Fonangwapo and tell you, this is what they went through. He said the Joa was bitter about the actions of Foncha. But he did not leave there bitter. But the one thing that I am realizing he understood at that conference is that power has changed hands. Monarchy has no power anymore. And he decided to engage with what works to bring about development in his homeland. All the chiefs of the Northwest and Southwest, those who have not yet come to this light, this is time for you to learn. Tell your people the truth. I hear some of the chiefs now quoting the Bible. Tell them the truth, that this reign is over. It is okay. Every good thing comes to an end. It served your great-grandparents, but it's not serving this generation. Be honest with them. And that is why I'm honest with everyone as we embark on this project of nation building. I don't want to start up something tomorrow. I'll tell you something else. All of a sudden, there is conflict of interest. We start fighting. I'm going to tell you up front. Cameroon will never, ever be developed with tribes. Tribes as we know it. We need to create tribes based on values and principles. Tribes based on this language and names will take us nowhere. This language you're speaking, how many people can you make products and sell to speaking that language? How many people can you communicate with speaking that language? That is a question to ask yourself. I understand that this monarchy and democracy strategy was a technique to slowly transition us from this monarchical reign into democracy. That was the whole strategy, if you look at it carefully. But truth be told, the people will resist you more when you're not honest with them. And I want to be clear with every phone. And share this video and make sure that your phone watches this video. Be honest with your people. Like I've watched clips of Fonangwafo speaking at universities and different parliaments abroad. They know that times have changed. They know. But maybe some of you will be hostile towards them if they tell you the truth. Because I've seen the people's behavior towards leaders. We have to change. This is the time. Drop it. Stop speaking pidgin on social media. Speak in English. And let your people learn from you how you speak so that they can be able to speak as well and be able to connect with other people around the world and make some money for themselves. Let these people not be limited. We will go around and find 1 or 2 people that have done pidgin online and they are successful and we say this is the standard. No. What about the average man? What products or services can they produce with that pidgin English and sell around the world? You've heard it from Donald Trump. You've heard it. You must integrate, you must assimilate if you want to be successful in a country. Let the scales of darkness fall from your eyes. I just want to share something with you and then we are going to wrap up this session. Because I didn't plan to. Yeah, I see the people on TikTok. I see them. I see everybody. Yes, I see you on TikTok. I just want to shout out to you all, guys. I'm super excited that you're joining this session. Yes. I see those on TikTok. I see you. I see LG. Is it LG? Yes, it's LG. Zamora, I see you. Fancy, I see you. John, I see you. I see all of you. Leo, I see you guys on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. Yes, guys, I'm super excited that we get to have this conversation for this. Okay, I see the messages coming in. Yes, I see you. Yes, Akeke, I see you. Everyone joining us on TikTok. I see, I see everybody joining us on TikTok. Yes, keep your comments coming in. I would like to hear your thoughts and share questions that you think needs to be answered on this subject, because this is a monumental transformation that is taking place in our nation in this generation. We are taking out every obstacle that will hinder development in this country, every obstacle that will stand in the way of progress. We are going to limit tribalism. We are going to limit nepotism. We will limit how people speak pidgin English in public because it is not helping us economically. Yes, we are setting an end to the reign of Fons and Chiefs in Cameroon so that we can proceed with economic development. That is what we are doing here today, and we are stating reasons why and how this wind of change has been blowing all along, but our people fail to see it. So that is what we are addressing here. Some people say unity in diversity. Okay, I see that, and I want to address that. When we talk of unity in diversity, unity in diversity is about unity in talent. If people play soccer, maybe people make cars. When we are talking about unity in diversity, it's about talent. What you can bring to the table that can help move a country or a community forward. That is how we find unity in diverse talents. It's not about unity in cultural affiliations. That is not what unity in diversity indicates. Unity in diversity, as we know it, is one of the hindering factors to our own development. So I just thought I'd clear that out. Unity in diversity is on talents and potentials and values and principles. That is what it is. It's not everybody doing stuff their own way and then we say we find unity. How can unity ever be if we are this divided? How can unity ever be if we have all of these tribes? How can unity ever be if we have all of these languages everywhere, people speaking, we can't even understand them? We are going to let the older people keep speaking because we know it is hard to change. After 40, it is hard to change anyone. So we are going to let the older generation keep speaking as they transition. But this new generation, this younger generation, we will start doing the right thing moving forward. If you are an influencer, you speak to your people in English. When they hear you, they say faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word. When they keep hearing you, they will be better and proficient at speaking English. And as they are better, that is how they'll have job opportunities abroad. They'll be able to make products, write codes in good English, speak, create tutorials. I've listened to some of the tutorials our own brothers are creating. It is bizarre. It's a mixture of pidgin and English. And because we have all this multitude of languages that we speak, and it's a hindering factor. When you look at any nation with this number of languages, I want to let you understand that there has been tense conflict in that area before we came. When you look at Northwest, no, we have been a warring people. Let Angwafo share that story.